Got it done. I got the hair transplant, and say the least, my head looks a little scary, but I am pretty excited that my hairline is going to be a lot nicer now. Um, I guess my experience with the whole thing was it was good, but it was painful. Probably the worst part for me was getting the or doing the numbing before they even started anything, because at that point it's numbing, so they don't have anything. It's not numbed by any means, and essentially they start at one end and do the whole front, and then come back, and then go back more, and keep going back and forth until this entire section is numbed. And then you can kind of see on the back where they took everything from. Basically, my donor area, they ended up spreading it out so it looked more natural because I do keep the sides and the back of my head really short. But basically, procedure kind of went. We did the numbing, and then from there he started doing incisions up front. And then they flipped me over face down on the table for about 3 hours. And they numbed the back and sides, and then they used a tool to extract them while the medical assistants prepared each graft. And then after they prepared each graft, while they're preparing the grafts, they count them out. They actually pulled more grafts than I had initially paid for, so free grafts I'm not going to complain about. So that was kind of cool. And then from there, I flipped over, and the graft part was actually decently quick. Probably took about 3.5 hours versus the whole procedure was from basically 8:30 to 5:30, so 9 hours roughly. I mean, with a half-hour lunch. They put this on me with gauze and stuff because I am bleeding from the back of the head. I'm not really bleeding from the front of the head. I have a couple medications that I have to take, painkiller and stuff like that. I'm not really in pain right now. The anti-inflammation is the big one because they actually had to use a lot more numbing on me. Just it kept wearing off very quickly. So over the course of the next couple of days, he says that I will start swelling around here, and then especially in my forehead. So look forward to that. I have to sleep on my back, only my back. I can't sleep on my sides at all. I have to be elevated. And I have to do that for, he said, probably the next 10 to 15 days minimum. Once I can kind of go back to normal, once all of the grafts actually heal and then scab over, and then the scabs come off. I have essentially a little list here of kind of how I have to do it. Basically, I go back in tomorrow. That's why I scheduled this on a Thursday. I go back in on Friday, and they're washing my hair for the first time after this, and then so that's Thursday. And essentially, in my graph, or in my planner, it tells me exactly how I have to wash my head, how I have to apply the Neosporin, and then they also give me this trichomine spray to spray it 4 times a day, essentially keep it moist. But essentially, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, I have to, every time I wash it, I have to lather the shampoo in my hands and pat my head. And I can take a regular shower everywhere else. They said steam isn't a big deal. And then to rinse my hair, I have to actually use a cup of water, like a small cup, and very gently pour on the back of my head so it kind of rinses everything gently. And I have to do that for the first 4 days, and then after that, I do the same thing to lather in between my hands, but I can pat my head at that point and kind of wiggle it. That way, he says it. Well, he didn't exactly say why I'm wiggling it, to be honest. It's part of just kind of a part of his 15-day healing process that I have, I guess you could say. And then after I do that for 4 more days, then on day 10, I will actually lightly start rubbing it. I'll still lather in my hands. I'll do this until day 14, and then I will essentially rub it on instead of patting and wiggling. And then after day 15, I actually massage my head twice a day, and I lather with my hand still, and then I massage it into my head twice a day, basically morning and afternoon. He said I'll be 100% back to work by then. I'll look totally normal by then. I'm taking an extra week off of work because I decided to just have them shave my head completely rather than do the method where they essentially shave the sides, the donor area, and then just push my hair aside while they do the grafts. Said it would take longer, and I mean there's more chance of infection. It all sounds correct, and honestly I didn't really care if my head was shaved. At the end of the day, I've never shaved my head, so I've never known how I look. And I mean, with the new hairline, shaving my head is maybe an option, but it all depends on if Chelsea likes it. We'll see. But with that being said, it's been, what? I think 4 hours. No, it's been about 3.5 hours since I fully finished up. Honestly, I have virtually no pain right now. I'm taking ibuprofen. That's about it. They gave me a painkiller to help me sleep. I don't know if I'll really need it. But other than that, it went by really, really well. I don't like the numbing aspect of it. That super sucked. That was literally the worst part. Cool thing about this place I went to, they actually have a full-on iPad Pro that they will put wherever you want, and you can watch anything you want, Netflix, Hulu, blah, 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 whatever. And then everybody there is super cool. Everybody's super nice. Made me feel super welcome. They bought me lunch and everything. And I mean, I would say it was definitely a good experience. Be ready for the numbing. Before it's numbed and they're sticking you with a needle, it hurts. That was my main complaint. That was my real only complaint. Other than that, I super happy with the turnout, and yeah, hopefully everything goes good from here. We'll see. We're going in tomorrow, like I said, to get my hair washed for the first time, and then they're gonna put on some ointments and stuff, and then from there, I won't have this wrap on it. That's only on there because the back is still bleeding. But other than that, the wrap will come off tomorrow, so I'll show on video what the back of my head and what the size of my head looks like now in the donor area. I mean, like I said, you can kind of see it right here, but it looks like it's still a little extra bloody. So, and then we'll also be back in Anchorage when I do another video tomorrow. So, but yeah, other than that, thanks so much for tuning in.